Hey everyone, welcome back to Vita150.
I have to say, when you told me flu symptoms was the most searched health question in America, beating out diabetes, ADHD, everything, I was genuinely surprised.
Right? You'd think it'd be something more dramatic. But no, it's this. And honestly, once you dig into why, it makes total sense.
Okay, lay it on us. Why is this such a mystery for so many people?
Because a cold and the flu can look almost identical for the first few hours. Same playbook. Sore throat, congestion, feeling run down. But underneath, they're really different, and knowing which one you're dealing with actually changes what you should do next.
So let's start simple. What's the single biggest giveaway?
Speed of onset. A cold tends to creep up on you. You feel a little off, maybe a scratchy throat, and it builds over a day or two. The flu, on the other hand, hits like a truck. People often say they can point to the exact hour they started feeling sick.
That's such a good distinction. I never thought about the speed of it.
It's honestly one of the most reliable signs. If yesterday you felt totally fine, and today you can barely get off the couch, that's flu behavior, not cold behavior.
Okay, what about fever? I feel like that's the one everyone asks about.
Great question. Colds rarely cause a real fever, maybe a low-grade one at most. The flu, though, commonly brings a fever of 100.4 and up, sometimes spiking to 102 or higher, especially in the first couple of days.
And body aches?
Huge differentiator. With a cold, you might feel a little run down, but with the flu, we're talking deep, in-your-bones muscle aches. Some people describe it as feeling like they got hit by a car.
Okay, that's oddly specific, but I believe it.
It really is that distinct. And this matters especially for older adults, because the flu isn't just a bad cold for that age group. It can actually lead to serious complications like pneumonia.
Right. And I think that's the part people underestimate the most. It's easy to think, it's just the flu.
Exactly. And that mindset is exactly why it stays the most searched question every single year. People get hit hard and go, wait, is this normal? Or should I actually be worried?
So what are the red flags? When should someone actually be concerned, not just uncomfortable?
A few key ones: difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, persistent chest pain or pressure, sudden dizziness or confusion, a fever that won't come down with medication. And for older adults specifically, worsening of any existing chronic conditions. That's a signal to call a doctor, not wait it out.
That confusion one stood out to me. I wouldn't have immediately connected that to the flu.
Most people don't, but sudden confusion, especially in someone over 65, is actually one of the more serious warning signs and shouldn't be brushed off.
Before we move to prevention, can we bust a couple of myths? Because I feel like everyone's grandmother has a theory.
Oh, this is my favorite part. Let's do it. Feed a cold, starve a fever. Go.
I've heard that my whole life. Is there anything to it?
Not really, no. There's no solid evidence that eating more helps a cold or that fasting helps a fever. What actually matters is staying hydrated and eating what your body tolerates, whether that's a little or a lot.
Okay, next one. Going outside with wet hair will give you a cold.
Classic, but no. Colds and flu are caused by viruses, not temperature or wet hair. You can absolutely catch a chill and still not get sick, and you can bundle up perfectly and still catch the flu if you're exposed to the virus.
What about, you can't get the flu from the flu shot, because I know people who swear the shot made them sick.
This one's really common, and it's understandable why people believe it, since some soreness, mild fatigue, or a low-grade ache can happen after the shot as your immune system responds. But the vaccine itself cannot give you the flu. It doesn't contain live virus capable of infecting you. What people are usually experiencing is either that immune response or they were already exposed to a different virus around the same time, purely by coincidence.
That timing coincidence explanation actually makes a lot of sense. I never thought about it that way.
It trips a lot of people up, understandably.
Okay, last myth. You have to sweat it out with a hard workout.
Please don't do this. When you're actively fighting an infection, especially with a fever, intense exercise puts extra strain on your heart and immune system. Gentle movement once you're recovering is fine, but pushing through an intense workout while sick isn't doing you any favors.
Good, because I definitely believed that one in my 20s. Okay, so let's talk prevention because I know that's where people's minds go next.
The flu shot is still the single most effective tool we have. And for adults 65 and older, there are actually higher dose versions specifically designed to trigger a stronger immune response, since our immune systems naturally get a little less responsive as we age.
I didn't know there was an age-specific version. That's really useful to know.
Yeah, it's worth asking your doctor about specifically by name if you're in that age range. Beyond the vaccine, the basics still matter a lot. Washing hands frequently, especially before eating, avoiding close contact with anyone who's sick. And honestly, if you do feel that sudden truck hit onset we talked about, resting immediately instead of pushing through it.
That pushing through it instinct is so common though, isn't it?
Incredibly common, and it's part of why flu spreads so effectively. People go to work, run errands, see family, all while contagious, because the early symptoms can feel deceptively mild for the first few hours.
So if someone's listening right now and thinking, okay, this sounds like the flu, not a cold, what's actually the move?
Rest, fluids, and monitoring those red flags we mentioned. Antiviral medications can also help if started within the first 48 hours. So calling your doctor early, rather than waiting it out for a week, genuinely makes a difference in how long and how severe it is.
That 48-hour window feels like the kind of thing people don't know until it's too late.
It really is, and that's exactly why we wanted to cover this.
While we're on it, are there any comfort tips that actually help beyond just rest and fluids? That advice always feels a little vague.
Fair point. Let's get specific. Humidifiers can genuinely help with congestion and sore throat, especially if your home air is dry. Warm salt water gargles can ease throat pain in a real, measurable way. And elevating your head slightly while sleeping can make congestion feel less intense overnight.
What about all the over-the-counter options? It's overwhelming standing in that aisle.
Totally fair. The main thing is matching the medication to your actual symptoms rather than grabbing a multi-symptom formula out of habit. If it's just congestion, a decongestant alone. If it's aches and fever, something like acetaminophen or ibuprofen, assuming there's no reason your doctor's told you to avoid those. And always double-check you're not accidentally doubling up on the same ingredient across 2 different products. That's a surprisingly common mistake.
Oh, that's a really good point. I've definitely grabbed 2 things with the same active ingredient without realizing.
Super common. Reading the actual ingredient list, not just the brand name, is one of the most underrated health habits out there.
I have to say, I feel like I could actually diagnose myself with confidence now.
That's the goal. And just to be clear, everything we covered today is general information, not a diagnosis. If you're genuinely unsure or symptoms feel severe, please reach out to your doctor directly.
Well said. This was such a practical one.
If this helped clear things up, hit subscribe. We're building out a whole series on the health questions people search for most, but rarely get a straight answer to.
Next time, we're tackling something almost as searched, why blood pressure numbers seem to make no sense to anyone. See you then?
See you in the next one.